Hello everyone, my name is Debbie Jones-Snyders and I'm from the Hopedale Presbyterian Church, and I'm delighted to welcome families and children to our church school lessons and crafts. Today we're going to talk about David, who is the ancestor of Jesus, and David was very important to God. So David, this story today is about David becoming king and bringing the ark to Jerusalem. And this is adapted from Mission Bible Class and Sweet Publishing, and licensed by Free Bible Images. So we have two coloring pictures. We have two crafts. One is a crown, and the other is the Ark of the Covenant. And we have a number of other activities for you as well. Our story about David bringing the ark to the covenant. So Saul had been the king of Israel for many years. He started out as a good king, but then he began to disobey God. And when Saul began to disobey God, God told him that none of his sons would ever be kings of Israel. After the death of King Saul and his sons in battle, David was first anointed king of Judah, then king of all of the 12 tribes of Israel. David was 30 years old when he became king of Israel. David captured the fortress on Mount Zion and made Jerusalem the city of David, where his palace was built. David knew God had established his kingdom, and he wanted to make Jerusalem a place of worship. David remembered something very important: the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark was a special box covered in gold that held the 10 Commandments. The Ark of the Covenant represented the presence of the Lord. David wanted all the people to know that the presence of the Lord was with him. Since the ark was in a special tent in another town, David decided to bring the ark to the city of Jerusalem, where he lived. David forgot to follow the Lord's special instructions about moving the ark. One instruction was that no one was to touch the ark. The ark had rings on its sides that were holders for long poles that were used to carry the ark. The priests were supposed to carefully pick up the ark using those poles, and they were never to touch the ark, only the poles. David told the priests or the Levites to bring the ark to Jerusalem. The priests placed the ark on a new cart. Now remember, that is not the way the Lord said to do it. He said that the priests were to carry the ark with the poles. The people were so excited that they did not even stop to think about obeying the Lord. David and the priests seemed to be trying to make the crowds happy instead of making the Lord happy. As the ark was being carried in the cart, something terrible happened. The oxen that were pulling the cart stumbled. A man named Uzzah reached out to steady the ark. First, the ark was not being carried the way that the Lord had said it should be carried, and now someone touched the ark. And as soon as Uzzah touched the ark, he fell down dead. The people had been so excited about moving the ark that they forgot to think about obeying the Lord. Now they knew Uzzah had disobeyed the Lord, and now they knew how important It was to follow the Lord's instructions. For 3 months, the ark stayed in the same town where Uzzah died. Finally, David decided it was time to bring the ark to Jerusalem right away. This time, David did not think about making the people happy and being popular. This time, David wanted to make the Lord happy. He told the priests to carry the ark by holding the poles, exactly how the Lord had commanded. No one but the Levites may carry the ark of God, David announced. The Lord chose them to carry the ark and minister before him. This time, everything went well. The people of Israel brought the ark to Jerusalem with shouts of joy and the sounds of horns and music. They brought the ark and set it inside the special tent that David had pitched for it. David sacrificed burnt offerings, gave thanks, and blessed everyone in the name of the Lord. Everyone was happy because they had followed the Lord's rules. David was a man after God's own heart. David loved and worshiped the Lord with all his heart. Let's love and worship the Lord with all our hearts. David was the ancestor of Jesus. David was an earthly king of Israel chosen by God. Jesus is our King in the kingdom of God. So, we have several activities depending on your age level, interest, and ability. You will need to print the templates. There are 2 coloring pictures. Oops, it's not coming apart. And there are 2 crafts. The first craft is David's crown. And the second craft is the Ark of the Covenant. So, to make David's crown, you will need different colored construction paper, sparkles, glue, scissors, a stapler, different things to color with. So what you do is if you see the inside of this crown, it has 2 strips. So you will need to cut some strips, a thinner one and a wider one. And you can see that you're going to put one inside of the other. So the first one that I have that is brown, I had to cut 2 strips from the paper to put them together, and I stapled them together. So the brown piece is about 4 inches or 10 centimeters. And the red piece, which is the wider one, is about 8 inches or 20 centimeters. So you cut 2 strips of the brown paper and staple one end to the other, so you're making a long strip. And you cut 2 strips of the red and staple one end to the other, so you're making a long strip. So I will show you right now so you can put them together. So you will need to staple them in the middle here, and when you're done, you staple them back here. You can use glue sparkles, markers, other pieces of construction paper to decorate your crown. You can put sparkles on them. And then when you're happy with how you have decorated it, you can measure it and staple the back of it to me so that it fits your head as well. So there you have it. And I will staple it back together. So you can see the crown. Okay, the second craft is the Ark of the Covenant. Here's the top of it. You can see the angels there. You can see the inside of the Ark of the Covenant, and it's a box, basically. And the Ark of the Covenant is what where the tablets were kept. The 10 Commandments were kept in there, as well as some other things. So you will need to print the 2 templates for the Ark of the Covenant. Now you will, you can do that on cardstock or on construction paper. If you use construction paper, you'll need to make sure that you'll need to cut the construction paper down so it fits. And you want a stiff paper so you can make your box. So if you have yellow stock or yellow construction paper, this is yellow construction paper, you don't need to color the Ark gold. The Ark of the Covenant had gold all over it. So if you have like beige construction paper or white cardstock, you'll need to color the templates yellow for gold. But you won't have to do that if you have yellow construction paper or yellow cardstock. So you will need to print and then cut out the pieces. So here again, here are all your pieces. And you can see with this, first you will make the box, you want to decorate the pieces first, and then when you're ready, cut things out. You see these little flaps? You're going to be folding along those flaps and folding them and fitting them under to make the box. So I'm not sure if I said earlier you'll need glue, but you glue those pieces in. So you make the box first, fold the tabs, glue them underneath. So here's the other template. Again, you have to have that cut out. So you will want to put these poles, once you cut them out, you can glue them to the top of the box. And then this is the top, the cover to the Ark. And you see there's dotted lines. You're going to cut a tiny bit where the dotted lines are, because you'll need to fold along those dotted lines, just like I have done here. I haven't glued this as yet, but I've cut along the dotted lines and folded upwards so the top of the box can fit in, and you can glue the top of the box in if you like. And you also have the angels. So once you cut them out, you're going to fold them in half. And you see, once again, you have little flaps that you're going to fold under so they can be glued to the top of the box. So your angels are folded in half, the tabs are put under them, glue put on there, and the angels face each other. So that works like that. And then once you do that, if you like, you can glue the lid or the top of the ark. Whoops, I haven't done that, as you see. Glue it on top of the ark. So we have other activities as well. And we have a word search and a maze. Another word search for you. Whoops. And a crossword. And there's also a secret message in there as well. This week, remember it's important to follow God's rules. God's rules keep us safe, help keep us safe. And when we don't follow God's rules, bad things can happen to us and to others. David was a man after God's own heart. Just like David, when we do follow God's rules, good things happen and there can be much celebration. Have a wonderful week.